Okay, hope you can see my screen. So I'll start with the first one.
I don't think they can see it. Can you guys see? No, it's not selected.
Ma'am, it's the whole screen is selected. Asim?
Oh, the whole screen is
Ah.
selected? Okay.
Asim, can they see?
Yeah, everything is visible.
Okay. So who is Padmavati? Padmavati. All right. I guess we are not going to name who said what, but it is very visible on the screen. And as I mentioned, the very first impression of the mood board is exotic. It is exotic the way that we saw in the video clip. You know, the video clip is so much about conveying something which is ethereal into to us, and it's building up the images of how we can how we associate some very certain kind of colors to belong to a particular region, some era, and perhaps the romanticism of a particular region. So I can get the feel right away in the poster or in the mood board. Padmavati as the what the video clip what we saw was a lot about, of course, very impressive because of its choreography, but more than the choreography, I think very effectively they put the colors together, very close colors, close colors of the deserts, colors of fire, colors of particular clothing. They all merged literally in the background, and here was this one particular protagonist, maybe the central figure, who dances again through the position. They place her in the center always somehow, and she was the one dressed in red. So here I can get the same mood, and I do think you've done a good job.
So, just one thing I want to point out, the video that we showed to you in terms of colors, like you've got the right forms, textures, but when you look at the colors that were there in the video, they were really, a monochromatic kind of a feel to it, because it was a very singular color palette. So even if the reds were there, they were bent towards a little more orange, burnt orange. So the bright red that you see right now was not really visible in the video. So when you think of colors in terms of colors, you've got the form right, you've got the feel right, you've got the cultural elements right. But in terms of colors, I want you to really look at that video again and see the kind of color palettes that they've used, and they've toned them down into a singular color. So this is also one of the techniques by which we make sure that when there is something extremely bright with a lot of colors, we try to tone them down, so we keep a little more monotonous, monochromatic color scheme, and we still have a palette that looks gracious, very colorful and vibrant and luxurious, as we have seen. So that would be great, ma'am. Yeah, that's all I think from my end.
Okay.
Sure.
So overall, well done. Let's look at another one, Nidhi.
So we go for another different. Maybe there's one for Stranger Things. Can that?
Does it say that?
One of the posts did say that. I'll just check. Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay to see?
Is that? So we
Okay.
had Padmavati, we had Stranger Things, and we had
Greece.
Greece. All right. So Stranger Things communicate things which are beyond our imagination, of another planet, possibly, but of course, it wasn't just about another planet. They were about strange things, um, whom we see. You can name them monsters, you can name them as aliens. And okay, I see a glimpse of that. I feel that I get the sense you're talking about. Um, I feel you've tried to put things together. Some of them have become kind of a little bright, but that's fine. I mean, they still appear as strange things to me. I would have liked to have seen some color chips. Do you remember we told you guys to put color chips? as part of the mood board. I understood that the first one probably, I don't know if you did it on, that was also, right? I didn't notice any color chips. Similarly, I would have liked all of you to do that, because the moment you get that feel, you get the color chips right. I can understand that you may not have the visuals which are quite exactly like the clips that we showed you. But overall, good. I just think they're a little brighter, so kind of less scary than the actual clips. But you've got the essence correct. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I think because the movie had lot of different kind of colors, but the purples you got it right. But in terms of the chips, if you would have put it in, you would have known how to get them in the similar tonality or like a palette like a singular one. But I think you've used the right kind of flowers. So they've got the shape right, ma'am. Many of them have identified with shapes, a lot of them. But I think it's the colors that are so yes. So otherwise the burning face, skull.
So don't worry. I think by the time you finish your 1 year, you will sort of get very,
Yes.
very sensitive to colors and how to use it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's look
Let's
at
see
the
if
next
somebody
one. I
picked.
hope you somebody has Greece. Greece.
So this was I think by Soumya. It said Soumya. Okay, we'll see if this is okay.
This is also Padma.
What is it? Yeah.
This is also Padma.
Okay, the student has mentioned keywords also.
Yeah, I can see that's a good thing. So you've got your, all right, there is something I would have to mention here. You've got some of the visuals absolutely correct. However, you see, we need to be a little bit careful about the aesthetics or the forms and shape conveyed through the clip was very much belonging to a particular region. Let's say the desert region of Jaisalmer, maybe of Bikaner. So quite different in terms of his forms, shapes, and textures. Unlike this, I think this is kind of a, it's the Konark wheel. The Konark wheel is very fine. It's really fine in terms of its craftsmanship, which wasn't so visible and is not so visible in the deserts of Rajasthan. So maybe, yes, the colors match, but not the forms. So I would ask you to be a little bit careful. Do not intermingle just because in a country, every region has such strong aesthetics that it would really be a spoiler if it's use some very fine art forms in a place which is meant to be a lot more rugged. Okay, so be careful of that. But I really kind of appreciate some of the words you've used over there. You've talked about opulent, ornate. Uh, I think it would have been nice to hear some descriptions about the sandiness and the okay, it was a lot more about kind of fort. It had the feeling of this rustic forts, as well as the sand feel, the grittiness of the sand was also visible to us. So it's not just very fine. You see, it was not very, very fine. This would be defined as fine, what you have. The visual out there is absolutely delicate and fine in its grandeur. It wasn't so in Padmavat. So be careful of that. But I'm glad you tried to at least match the colors, because your colors are fine. I like the action which is part of the scene, because very much the dance movements were were very, very expressive, and I can see that in your poster. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've got the colors right. I think bang on. A lot of words that really does give the feel of what the director was trying to portray. But the images that you have used actually are very very varied from what the you've used a lot of Mughal style architecture, and then you use those kind of carpets, whereas the feel there was a lot more with, sand-like floors, very rustic and not so finished. And then you used a wooden Konark, style ceiling, which was definitely not the case there, because it was much more fort and open. And if you see Rajasthan, and if you see the kind of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and the kind of ceilings that they have opulent ceilings too, but the style is very different, very different. So Mughal, such South Indian style, wooden ceilings are very different from what that was shown. Even the architecture here, probably you'll have to relook at a lot of form and structure, but we will not get into that. But in terms of colors, I think bang on. Good. Ma'am, I think nobody is
Okay.
done for
No one's done
no
for
one's done
Greece.
for Greece, because it seems like it's again Padmavati. Yeah.
Would you like to? Has anybody done anything on Greece? Then we will open it up. Padmavati, let's go down.
Mm,
The ghost
a lot of
writer
schools.
was made to. Okay. So, oh, strange things. You've got the forms bang on. I think your forms give that feeling of, but your forms look quite nice and bright. So they don't look dangerous at all. I mean, they look creepy, but not dangerous. So I think one can work at, later on when you get control of your, and you have your understanding of colors, and you start using softwares, you will be able to work on all those things.
Yeah, beautiful textures. I think you've got.
You spent a lot of time getting the forms. I can see
Yeah.
that, no? Nice. Yes. All right. Nobody else has
No,
done one.
actually, now this is the last one. It seems like only 4 students left.
Okay, never mind.
You guys are still not in the mood for working.
Yeah, but
That's okay.
I think those who have sent the boards have done a lot of work. I can really sense that. Okay, Padmavat. Nidhi, would you like to start?
So I think the person here has become very, very intrigued with the accessories and details. So, I think you're a person who goes really deep into and focus on a lot of detailing, because you've kind of got Leheria, you've got the accessories, you've got that eye makeup, so very fashion based. Uh, in terms of colors, again, what I see, the images that you have used, yes, they have a monotonous catch on the kind of colors that were there, but the background has really taken away the essence of the colors that you're trying to make. So sometimes when we create mood boards, we have to look at how the background colors are working in sync with the images, and that's when you get the magic of colors happening. And since none of you use those swatches, it's difficult for us to identify what colors are you really wanting us to see in those images, because I can see a lot of whites also. Then if you want me to see this red, there are two different, very different color palettes there. So you'll have to be very sensitive towards. And jewelry, see, it was a lot of gold. I mean, in the sense, not gold jewelry, but the fact that the lighting itself was turning towards a yellow gold.
Right. So, ma'am, I agree with what you say, Nidhi. So I would advise you. So there you see how strong was the clip. The clip kind of brought about images in your mind, and in your own mind, you started sifting out the interpretation of the director and the cameraman, who was intent on giving you this very darkish evening allure of the sand region. And they did it very successfully through fire, sand. The grittiness of the region was very visible in the whole dance form. Now, I think what has happened is many of us, because of the romanticism of the clip, it has affected you so strongly. You have stepped out of the interpretation of the director and the cameraman, and you have brought about your own images of Padmavat. And this Padmavat now is so clearly, visibly a woman I see her more as just a personality rather than that clip, which was about probably get trying to get an effect and a nuance, a kind of a feeling for trying to create a feeling in the observers. Now over here, in fact, I'm getting to hear see more of a lady who is probably dressed in the certain manner, and so be careful of that, because as designers, we can start interpreting our own way of Padmavat later. Because right now we are trying to see whether you understood the color differences and the finesse of the color gradations. That would have been what we would be looking at. Okay, but good job done. I think that is an attempt to make your own interpretation. That is an effort which I think I would really appreciate, though a little differently right now. Okay, okay. So I would say good job done, all of you. We are now moving on to the next step.
So I'll just check one last time and then we'll.
Has everybody finished?
Yeah, I think that was the
Yeah.
last one. So we're going to just share our screen and we're going to start with the learning for the. Oh, are we already shared? No. Yeah, let's share. Okay, so we come here and right. So we had our mood board discussion, and now we're going to move to. So what we wanted to talk to you about today's exercise is a lot to do with how colors become an important part of your principle and elements that work together. So color essentially is an element and it works around with various principles and design that we want to be learning in the classes ahead. What we wanted to talk to you here about is, now you see two visuals here which are graphically extremely engaging. So I'm going to talk to you about the first visual here, which you can see there is a lot of color blast happening, and there is a black figure that, or in contrast, works towards making sure that these colors don't become jarringly disturbing for us in the eye. Now, this technique in terms of principles, we call it contrast also, because you can see that black being the complete neutral color, and then you have these blast of many colors coming together. But if you notice very intensely, the colors that are placed to each other in the background are also according to certain kind of position of how each color works with them. So, if you see rainbow colors, or if you see how rainbow alignment has with different positions of colors, it is something similar to that the artist has tried to move around with. Reason being is that those colors, when they interact with each other, there is a gradual transition or gradation that happens of transition of different colors. And that has come about here to make sure that they work very well with each other in the background. And in the foreground, you see that you have this black image which is in contrast completely dark, which is completely neutralizing the effect of these bright colors together. Now, what I wanted to also talk to you about is the visual perception that we get. Now, in terms of its visual perception, we are able to outline the black cat much more prominently with the background colors being in contrast there. Now, this perception gives us that now if we look at the way the black cat has got colorful eyes and has got these, hanging earrings kind of a thing on the side. I wanted to ask you guys that can you name me some keywords when you look at this? What is it that you get as a perception or an emotion or a feeling? So we wanted to discuss with you how colors create those kind of perceptions for you. And I'll just try to get an access to the chat box so that we can.
Right, let's have your comments. What ma'am asked.
Energy blast.
Ah. Okay, what else is your perception or your feeling? Can you express that?
No, you can't see the chat box.
No, not the chat box. No, you can shift it here and
I
yes.
just try to
To just
make this
enlarge.
big.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this side, this side, this side.
Both of us.
Sorry, guys, we are trying to use technology and
So there is
we're
energy.
just trying to find. Okay, fun
Fun,
energy, energetic,
Okay.
vibrant. Okay,
Mhm.
fun. All right, colorful.
An animal who can talk and have some superpowers.
Oh,
Interesting. And music, music IG. What is music IG? Can you elaborate? What does music IG mean? Music, I guess.
I
Oh.
guess. Okay.
We get used to the slang.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So, yes. So, why do you feel this is musical? I mean, what are the elements that you feel probably the colors, the way they flow into each other gives that musical, feel to the entire graphics. I mean, it could also be the image of the cat, how it comes with the earrings. I mean,
I think it does convey certain genre of music, if I would say. Um, can you quickly put down the genre of music you associate this colorful image with? Let's hear that. What could be the genre of music?
trance.
Trance. Hey Ram. For our generation, we really have to say.
Oh, because
Okay.
actually it says the debut show with NYE Mama J.
Yeah.
Rap.
Rap? Do you think that is rap? I think we need to think about it. Right, like
Rock and roll.
right, like a music event, and the cat depicts rock and roll. Is it rock and roll? I think, when you guys are here on campus, we should have this musical exploration. What does rock and roll really sound
Yeah.
like, and what does rap sound like, and what are the images it brings to mind?
Hippie.
Hippie?
Close.
Oh, yeah, somewhere close. Maybe peppy pop. No, but I think it could be peppy pop. It could be hippie pop, maybe EDM.
You might want to
Electronic.
elaborate.
Electronic disco music. Is it correct?
Is it
Electronic disco music?
You might want to Shreya elaborate on
Shreya, you
the
might like, yeah. Do you think EDM is electronic disco music? All right. Anyway,
yeah,
so
electronic electric dance music.
dance music.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
We still have the discos.
We are going to learn with you because a lot
Yeah.
of things, it is so too recent for us to be, because in our times things were very different. Okay, it is disco. Oh, disco as
Disco,
well.
yeah.
Yes, disco as well. Okay, good. So let's move on to the next visual, the next poster, which very clearly shows that it is talking about any music that uses guitar, rock. There's rock and roll, there is hard metal rock. It could actually even be folk music. I mean, the Western folk
Yeah.
music, because we, in our folk music, we don't use guitar. And it's mainly a very Western phenomena, but you can see that that is something. But you see the difference, because the moment you have a visual which is so monochromatic, all the colors belong to one family of colors, one or two close colors together, but it to convey that fiery passion, that fiery intensity in rock music, they have this fire lit at the back of the guitar, and almost depicting perhaps a fireplace, etc.
So
So
students are saying, ma'am, heavy metal, religious rock.
yeah, oh my God, religious rock. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, so I don't know about it.
Yes.
But it would be interesting to explore that. We'd like to know more when you guys are here.
It also gives classical like violin, and the arch gives that old type of music halls.
Okay, so could it be classical? I would refrain a little bit away from that because you know that fieriness and the fire, that the colors of fire surrounding it, I think makes it a little more on the intensity of it. So I would stay a little bit away. Maybe we'll have to figure out what a classical piece or genre music would be represented as. We can think about that. And orchestra. An orchestra also is very much classical, but it could be an orchestra of what? See, in almost all the musical performances, most of the bands, the separatists are all there on the stage. I think classical, perhaps an orchestra is related mainly to classical or more formal set of music. But we'll explore all this together when you are here, all right? Because we have some good musicians over here too, by the way. So those of you who are interested in music, singing, I think you guys should really come together and perform some things. All right. Rock remixes and covers of classical music are getting popular. Oh, yes. Remix. That's a nice thought.
Yeah.
That really is a nice thought. So I think you've got us, you sort of got it, you guys. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
Rock version of religious songs. Okay, so because there's a worship word there, I think everybody is associating with religious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to summarize it for you, when you look at graphics, they have all these words that you've mentioned here are kind of discussed where it gives you a visual perception, so you start associating with what you have seen in your life, what you have perceived as values or things that you've seen around, and you create a perception around the entire composition according to your own cultural values and your build up, and then what you look at or what the artist is trying to convey to you. Now, many of the times the kind of tools that they use are emphasizing on many of the elements there, the movements that they're trying to make, what you want them to read. They make sure that with colors you read something first, then you read something later. You tend to create balances. So what we saw with the background color and the black in the front, so you kind of balance the entire composition that people want to come and look at it. It also encompasses, how and in what proportion these colors are used to be able to convey the right kind of message. And anything that goes beyond and above the not the right kind of proportions or feeling can actually divert. So there is nothing wrong and right in it, but the fact remains that the message can deviate from what you've tried to or what you want to convey to what it actually conveys. So there can be a difference there. Harmony, generally color creates a lot of harmony in the compositions, because if they're synced together, if they're unsynced together, there is a kind of rhythm and mood that they convey, and that complete altogether brings down to the kind of mood or emotions that it conveys to you, and you're able to associate or understand what the message is coming across. Right, ma'am?
So, guys, yeah, I think there's one more thing I just want to point out alongside. In any visual, you will normally be impacted by two factors. Colors is one of the most important factor which you will notice first. And then you go into the details of the forms. The forms, the imagery, the outlines, they start then mingling together in your mind and you form your opinion about that. Okay. So at the moment, though, we are asking you to focus on colors and colors and colors, remember, some of you are really starting to get a little more disturbed, maybe by the imagery, and you are wondering whether the color questions we are asking you, is it being disturbed by the images, outlines, and the forms that you are seeing as well. But don't worry. This is because this is a module about color. We are really asking you to focus on color. But otherwise, you will be impacted by both these factors, and it's fine to be able to talk about it through your interpretation of both. Okay? Now let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
So we move on to the next exercise for the day. So there are three exercises planned for you. Four. So what we're going to do today here right now with this is that now that we've also moved into visual medias, okay, and we've moved into areas where communication is no more static. It has become engaging. It has become digitally integrated, and it has also become somewhere how the perception of colors then integrate with this is a very, very important factor. And why we wanted to bring to your notice are different services and product businesses who communicate through colors and various other mediums, and with digital technology being a strong part of it. Now, what we wanted to really discuss was that some of these things are very, very serious and business oriented, and how do you actually use colors as a strong part of the tool to stand out, and at the same time still be make sure that the seriousness or the emotion or the way it conveys the message of the business or it connects with the audience still remains intact. So the first example that we want to start off with is the Fortis Healthcare. Now you understand how serious healthcare is and how it becomes an important part of how you look at different, serious matters that are related to life. And we're just going to scroll through the website and talk a little bit about it. Now, when you have such a serious, element that we are talking about and you're dealing with in business, now what you see here, what Fortis has done is there is a certain kind of color, coordination that you can find here, which is to do with the blue and the green. So there's a consistency that the website has tried to maintain through where they're equally sharing a lot of data with you. So you can see that it's a it's a throw of enormous amount of data for you, because when it comes to healthcare you want to be sure, you want to know more, you want to always have be on the top side of the accessibility of the information that you have, and all that brought together in a synced form in terms of its colors and visuals are what creates a harmony there. But when you look at even the visual images that have been used, you can see the subtleness of the blues and the greens that have been used in the images too. So you'll see the subtle use of greens here, then the blue palettes being explored, then some colors come in an extra, but see the graphics that are there. There is a dominance of the color palette that has been used here. So these become a very important part of how color coordination is very important when you have an explode of data. Then also the fact that you're dealing with something as serious as healthcare, and also the comforting need of making sure who's coming here is probably the kind of mood or the kind of mental status they would be in if they have to access information here. How does it become more soothing and in the flow? Do you want to add anything on
No,
this?
let's move on to the
Yeah.
next.
So that's where we have healthcare being one of the areas. And I want you to please keep noting this down, because we have an exercise that will come up with reference to this. The second we're going to talk to you about is NVIDIA. So, how many of you have heard of NVIDIA? Do you guys know what does NVIDIA do? If you can post it in the chat box. Okay. You guys.
You know it's
Oh, yes.
related to
Okay, they make
Max-
GPS
make-
and AI company.
make GPS
Microchips.
and AI company, yes. Microchips, correct, GPS.
But what is it closest associated with us with? I mean, as a commoner, what is it that it services us? GPU, yes. So yes, NVIDIA is basically, you must have heard NVIDIA has microchips and GPU. Yes. So the graphic cards that you see in our laptops are actually, NVIDIA is known for it in the common man's life. We know NVIDIA through this, but NVIDIA as a company has way more services, so their core services. So we'll go through that. So what we're talking about is a lot of tech, right? So when you look at this website, can you tell me some of the keywords that you really, really strongly associate with when you see this website? If you can write the keywords AI, okay, because you see black, because black and AI is kind of really coordinated. Even the blue, the neon blue that you see here is very uh, chip and tech. Yes. Anyone else? Tech. Okay.
So that glitter, a little bit of that glitter and gold seems to be kind of the kind of glitter that you get on the chips. You can see that, yes.
The because of the metal presence, right?
Yeah, because of the presence of metal.
Any other words that you can think of? AI, tech.
In the space, because a lot of that comes from the space.
I'll just try to make this a little bigger.
Um, yeah, can you just show us
Is that
the
fine?
website? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just scroll through it for you. So what you see here again, eco-friendly maybe, okay, because of the green.
I wonder, those who want the companies which are earning money, they don't care about eco.
Probably they would want to hide the tech pollution that they create, so that is why they probably use these green elements that you feel.
Yeah,
They're very
but yeah,
eco-friendly.
it's a message that
Yeah.
we value greens.
So we've got these really, like, see the gold lights, and they've used that as a subtle message a lot on the website. So what we see here is a lot to do with uh, you know also the fact that they've used this green is a lot of association with gaming. They are the one's biggest producer of RTX, which are the gaming system and laptops, processors basically, and really heavy duty. And you can see that these lines and these forms and the colors, especially green, associate with that a lot. So they have multi-diverse areas in which that they work, and you can see that when it comes to data computing, cloud computing, and all, they've used a lot of mix images along with white color in it, so to neutralize that effect. So green is the color of future that people talk about. It looks very sci-fi. It looks very futuristic. Any words that you would want to associate with?
So
Except
green
that
also
tech.
gives an impression of regeneration. So they don't want, NVIDIA does not want us to forget. They are here to not only help us in the present times, they want us to think of them being futuristic as well. Not futuristic in the sense cold and robotic, because they anyway are that company. They are saying we are also rooted in earth, but in a more futuristic manner. So perhaps the green, that's why it's a little neon, not just the natural greens. So they've made sure that they are capturing all thought processes that can be associated with their product and services. Okay, let's go to the third one now. So remember, we looked at two such websites, one on healthcare, one on tech, and now the third one is about lifestyle. So if you look at the lifestyle website, they are very clear. They want people to be attracted to the being in the moment kind of feel, right? Being in the moment, completely enamored of all the colors possible, and they've addressed all the groups, all demographic groups, to ensure that they address each one's needs. So they would have comes, okay, these are this is a website which is should you shut that website so that it will be able to function smoothly?
एक बार उसमें आप लिबेरल में टाइप कर सकते हैं, just type लिबेरल
NOBE.
no मैं बात
No.
नहीं मैम एक बार और आर आर होगा एंटर कर दीजिए मैम. Are you guys able to hear us fine? Because now I'm a little concerned whether our connection was also okay. Can you hear us okay? Aseem, are we audible?
Yes, very
Sir.
much.
Yeah.
Should I shift the connection?
Um. Okay, is there any, can we just have a still visual? It's fine.
Huh.
Let's just have a still visual. I think you are more or less quite, you are getting the gist of what we are talking about. So this you can see is a clothing brand, and it is very keen to look at, capturing all the demographic segments that is possible, right from youngsters to young kids and children to older adults, people who are probably even professionals or people who are in the casual mood. So what you see here is a lot of contrast happening. You can see that there is a burnt orange t-shirt lying on the pool of water which has this aqua look. Now these are what we call contrast, and it is to ensure that the mood that they want to depict is that you are in a place which is can be completely opposite moods. It's about being peppy, it's about being more on the fun side, and that is the kind of clothing impression that they want to give you. So the three websites that we talked about, each one having different products or services, and each one targeting for different purposes, and they use the colors very effectively to convey that, right? So keep this in mind whenever you have to take decisions about colors, whether it is for a still photograph or whether it is for a moving image. Now we have tried to show you all of that in the past and today. I think now it must have gone into your head, and so be happy you've learned that very, very well and imbibed it. So based on these lessons now, is there a
Members, now we have an exercise. So move to that.
so let's move to the exercise, guys. Get ready for it.
So the idea today for the exercise is, now what you need to do is, we guess that you guys would not have the color palettes in the mood board. What you need to do is, you've seen these three websites. Each one of you can take up any one of the websites that you feel like, maybe healthcare or Nvidia or even Novero, and you need to change the color palette of the website or suggest a different color palette for the brand, but with the same kind of message that has to be intact. So if Nvidia is a versatile company with a lot of tech and AI, how do you still retain that and move them away from the blacks and the greens? So you can play around, have fun. Guys, there is nothing right and wrong in this, but the idea here is that when you try to work out something different and change the perception of people, how successfully you're able to do that, still keeping the message intact is important. So even if you're looking at healthcare, how can you communicate healthcare better? You can use at least 5 to 6, ma'am.
Yeah. 5 to 6 colors, but
Yes.
the healthcare has to be conveyed as a healthcare service,
Mm.
right? Because you understand, healthcare is a place where people are so worried about the kind of whatever is the situation that they are in, and people are looking for, get them, help them get well. The Nvidia is about tech, future. let's have different color palettes, and I think of course your home, the lifestyle category would be probably be popular anyway, but give us a different color palette, okay? Just imagine what it would be, and let's have it out just squares of colors. You can use between 5 to 8 colors, put it on a slide, and
Similar to this, please take the photograph if you want to. Otherwise, just keep the swatches like this on a PowerPoint slide. You can create it into an image and send it to Wasim sir for us to be seeing here.
So let's make this just a 10-minute exercise. We don't want to give more than 10 minutes. And we are coming back to you after that with a very, very exciting exercise. So get ready for that as well. But first, let's finish this one. 10 minutes, all right? It's exactly 11 o'clock. We will see you in the next after 10 minutes.
11:10, guys.
All right, guys.
Oh, yeah, now it's open.
So do you want to take a click of the three websites that we have for you? You can do that. So here's the lifestyle website, Nobero, Nvidia, the tech group, and third is the healthcare, the Fortis healthcare website.
So I'll try to put this for you here and see if we are able to do that. The send to enter the
Enter.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
This Fortis, मैम एक मिनट मतलब बाकी था.
Enter.
हाँ मैम एक. हाँ मैम enter. And the third website also we are putting for you. Momentum. Ah, sorry.
Sachi, I think I need to change my glasses to magnum. Sorry.
Yeah. Guys, can you see our screen?
Hi guys, is this shared? Are you able to watch the screen? It's not. Um,
Yeah. So guys, can you hear us? You can see the screen? Type in yes for us. Asim, you're audible?
and can you see the screen?
Okay, yes.
All right.
So this is the first one, ma'am. Uh, so whoever has shared this, can you tell us which is your most dominant or main color you would like to keep in this palette? This is
Hey,
for
can you
protest.
unmute and talk?
Asim, can the students unmute and talk or they can only type? I think they can only type.
They can
Uh,
raise their hands and I can unmute them.
Okay.
Okay, please do that.
Would you
It will be
guys want
nice
to raise
to
your
hear.
hand and then we can unmute?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
Soumya,
Soumya.
go ahead, explain this.
Asim, can Soumya be unmuted and she can talk?
She can speak.
Soumya, can you unmute and talk?
You must be unmuted. Yeah, go ahead.
She has to unmute herself.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we could hear you, Soumya.
Yes, Soumya, I think we can hear you. So,
But you muted yourself again. Okay, ma'am, 1 second.
what is that?
Just typed.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, so Soumya, it's okay if you don't want to.
You can even type. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it will be
because-
faster. We have
Ah.
another exercise waiting, so we want to
Yes.
finish this.
So you can type for us. So she said, ma'am, that the top right is her color.
Main
that she-
color.
Yeah, she would like.
So the okay.
And this is the existing palette.
All right. So it's correct. It is slightly different, of course, from the other ones that, yeah, these colors are soothing and they are very closely related to well-being. So it's a little close to green. Plus also has blue. So I can imagine this suggestion of colors as being quite appropriate for medical needs. Um, they of course kind of pacify and seem very calm. I do think this will work quite well.
Yeah, the fact I think you've toned down all these colors and you've taken, you've maintained that
Ma'am, am I audible now?
chrome. Uh,
Yeah.
No.
Who is
So,
it? Who's
Soumya,
speaking?
Soumya.
Soumya?
Soumya. Is that you?
yes, ma'am, it's me.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why the iPad did not, it was not accessing my microphone. So I just switched it on my phone. So for the website, the main background would be the grayish tone, which is the lower left one. And the other main elements would be the top green and the blue.
Okay. All
And
right.
the bottom right one, that blue would be mostly for the margins.
All right. Okay. So it's still very close to perhaps that other one that we were showing you, but slightly different in that sense. And yes, quite appropriate. All right.
So they already had blue and green, and you want them to stick to that?
Yes, because I think for medical, the blues and the greens are mostly appealing as that medical and kind of vibe, I guess I can say.
All right.
But we wanted you to work at a different color so that they could break away
I
from.
did try with orange, but it was not looking that appropriate for medical, even when I toned it down.
Even, yeah, so even if there appears to be an orange which is really diluted, it could work as one of the highlighting colors. You have quite a few blues. So
Right,
the blue or the green one that you will associate orange with. So probably if you remove the blue, then having the orange in, which is very diluted, could work in some spaces, right? It doesn't have to be so monochromatic.
So if you see, medical services like let's say Tata and MG has used orange as a color palette, but they've toned it down for the medical purposes. In a similar way, if you look at Medanta as a hospital, they also have orange as a. So why I'm telling you this is that when you start experimenting, there is, n number of options that you can play around with to change the way medical services or certain colors are perceived. So how
right.
to break that perception and work around it, I think colors play a very, very strong role in that. Okay,
Yes.
thanks, Ramya.
So now we go to
Thank
the
you,
other
ma'am.
one.
We can take a one.
Yeah.
So this was the first one posted. We can go to another one.
Yeah.
So we'll try to take different ones. So if this looks like a hospital again.
This also looks like a hospital. Okay, sorry, we are going to just take one example of each so you guys can see what has been the attempt. Uh, anything else? They are both medical?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, this is the
Okay,
tech. All right.
Okay, again, you use the same colors that they have used. So guys, is it so that on the left hand side you're showing what it was used and on the right hand side you're showing what they can use? I don't know.
So guys, tech having very strong blues and green. So green was already used a lot. Black was also used a lot. If you are trying to tell us you would like to use a dark navy blue, perhaps, yes, that's a good suggestion. But what would you like to match the blue with? Would you have still prefer to have a metallic color or one of the other, like you said, a really neon color, which could be associated with tech? Um, I think both of them seem pretty. One is the one which was the existing color, but if you were to suggest another color scheme to NVIDIA, I think the dark blue would go pretty well. You could probably look at uh, either a platinum metallic color, which could be really shining silver, or it could be copper color. However, if you'd like to look at a neon color, so which one could it be? I think you could go a little bit more bold here as well, not just have it from the same family. Okay, but try it. It's a good try.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think you've tried to still play very safe because blue greens are very close to tech with black. And a dark palette, you still stuck to a dark palette. We would have loved to see some experimentation, but yes, so this is where we want to start experimenting in classes. We want to go bolder with our decisions and see how we can manipulate color palettes. So try that at home. Okay. So
Okay, so let's go to. Oh, somebody's
Another
played
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. I think this is
Yeah,
quite
it's fun,
interesting.
This-
Yeah, it's interesting. It's unusual. It might even give NVIDIA a different image. I know that's not for us to change what they are. Um, However, keeping in mind, since we don't know enough expansion of what NVIDIA does, it's a good trial. I would still think an addition of perhaps some metallic colors would be quite nice. It could be metallic color as well, not just the traditional metal colors.
I think that this blue is quite associated with a futuristic color and the way
Yeah,
you
that's
used a
turquoise blue.
and then you've kind of the light blue and the dark blue combination. It's really I think it's the interaction of the two colors that are working.
Right.
Just give that really glow to the color and it looks like some neon lights. Uh, but I think good experimentation. I would have loved to see moving away from grays, dark, black. I mean, what else could you have given for the company to have fun with? Because I think breaking stereotypes becomes a very interesting way to handle colors and brands together. Now we have just one more with the
One healthcare.
I think nobody's done a fashion brand. I think people are over with fashion.
Yeah.
We had thought you would have loved fashion, but it looks
Main
like
color pink. That's interesting. Soothing care, friendliness, secondary color brown.
strength. and
Yeah,
balance.
I really think this
Very
is a
nice.
very exploratory color palette and you are being bold about it. I just hope it's not an oncology department which has this color. You know what's an oncology department? To do with cancer. So perhaps this is about babies or what is it?
Newborns.
A gynecology
Gynecologist.
department, obstetrician more than gynecology. So yes, they look nice, peppy, and maybe a lot for children. Because if children are surrounded by some of these colors, a lot of the brand colors go into the interior as well. If this can be used for the interior because they are part of the brand color, I think it will be very good for the children, for the children's ward or for pediatric care. So overall, good attempt. I think we have some now very exciting exercise for you. Um,
I was trying to be experimental without taking it too far.
yes, yes, we can see that. Who's that? Shreya?
Shreya.
Okay, that's nice. That's
I think
thoughtful.
there's a lot of widths that you've tried to cover up. Though, we would have still wanted to see how the transition of the two palettes happen because they look two different palettes.
Yeah. So next time what you can do is whichever is the main color should be the maximum in proportion compared to the other ones. And perhaps if you gave us that indication, we can almost visualize how this brand colors will go together.
Transpire.
Okay?
So proportions take a very important role.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're done with this, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so Asim, as planned, if the students can be put into groups of 4 and groups of 3, since there are 10 participants, ma'am.
I think that does seem nice.
So what the exercise for you is, these are your prompts. Ocean, rainforest, desert of Jaisalmer. Now all these 3 prompts has got certain colors already on your mind or your a picture that is coming in front of you, in front of your eyes with multiple colors and an explode of colors. And we want you to bring it to the table now. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide you in group of 3. We're going to put you in WhatsApp there. What you have to do is you have to create 3 files: ocean, rainforest, and desert. And you're going to each one of them start working on creating at least 15 color swatches that you can associate with the prompt that is there of your file. Now, once you have those 15 color swatches, you can place them in any order, in any decreasing or increasing order, or you can create gaps in between. And then the file will be passed on to the next student, who will be again working on the same ocean file and adding more color palettes of another 15 to it, minimum 15 color swatches to it. Now, in a similar way, somebody who's worked on rainforest will forward to the third person to do the rainforest, and the desert will come to the first person who's doing ocean, right? So what we need you to do is, at any given point of time, all the 3 students will be working on one theme, and then after, ma'am, I think total of 10 minutes for each theme, right? Like
Yeah.
each group. So you have these 3 themes where you have to finish the 15 colors, and all 3 of them have to add the color palette and then create the final file from each group that we're going to look at. So what we are saying, at the end of it, each group will produce 3 files or 3 themes. You can work on a single file with different slides if you want to. And then those 3 themes have to be produced here where we will discuss. So we are talking about 50 colors in a single prompt or a theme that is there. Yeah?
If you have
Uh,
questions, please ask, and we can request Asim sir to put down the names of the groups on the chat box.
Okay, Adishri can't attend because she has to go for a visa interview.
Okay, so the groups are there.
Yes,
And you-
Asim sir has made the groups. We will give you about, ma'am, I think it's 10, so 30 minutes.
We'll give you 35 minutes to work on this, which means once you finish your slide, you will pass it on to, and please work on this on PPT. I hope all of you know how to work on PPT. Very simple. The group members will take up each one of them and start working on it. Put the colors that you think belong to ocean. Second person works on rainforest, third works on Jaisalmer. Then you are going to pass it on to the other person, and the second person will work on the rainforest, and so on and so forth. So each one of you will work on all the 3 of them. And one group will present 3 of these, so which we will show over here. And let's see how it looks. How do you interpret ocean for rainforest and desert? Okay, make sure you have enough colors. So that's the reason why we have said each person will at least put in 15 colors or 15 chips of the colors.
So Soumya is asking us to explain again. So Soumya, I hope you understood. Ma'am has explained it. Is that okay, or you still have any query? Have you guys understood? Do you guys want to put in a query if in case we can address it? Okay, good.
You have. Okay, let me just quickly go through this again. You are given 3 prompts. Each group will work on all the 3. However, the point is, all 3 members will have to work on each one of them, placing 15 colors for each of the themes. Okay, but you do it turn by turn. So while one is working on ocean, the other will work on rainforest, and the third so forth. After you finish your 15 chips, you post it to Sir. Correct?
Yes.
You
yes.
post it to Sir. Sir will then pass it on to your second member, who will start working on ocean and so forth. Try to keep it within 10 minutes for each of the topics.
Acha. No. So now, sir is making a WhatsApp group with you, so you guys can share the same file on the group. So you update it. So let's say you create 3 files. Each one of the group members can create one file. One creates for ocean, one creates for rainforest, one creates for desert. Once you've done ocean, you post it on the group. Same time, the other person must have done for rain. They will post it on the group. The third one must have done for desert. Now all the 3 files get posted. So this person who's done ocean now will open the rainforest file and add the balance 15 colors to it. At the same time, the search person who's done rainforest will now open the desert file and add the 15 more colors to the desert file. Now, in a similar way, you will do a third cycle where each one of you, by the end of the third cycle, would have worked on all the 3 prompts that are given. So that means in total, your contribution for each person is going to be 15 colors each in each of these files. Yes, Shreya, are you able to understand this? Is that clear for you? Oh,
Okay,
great.
so that's great. I know it will take a little while, don't worry about it. We will keep check of how you guys are doing. If you need a little more time beyond that, we'll of course understand.
Yeah. So you quickly make a file. Each one of you can quickly start making a file of your own. You can mutually discuss once the groups are done. The WhatsApp group is created. You quickly make your file and put the 15 colors and post it. So each one of you decide which work you're working on. अभी मैं ऑन रखते हैं जब तक है ना?
Yeah.
Asim, if you can give us a heads up once the group are created with the students, then we can just. Actually, you're adding us to the group, okay. The camera.
Yeah. Imran. Hridyanshi Anushka. Who's the third member?
Hid करके भी अच्छा नहीं hid
Hridyanshi.
Hridyanshi.
That's Hridyanshi.
So there is Hridyanshi.
Third
दो ही
member
member
is
देख रहे हैं।
not responding, but he's already got the third member.
नहीं मैम कहाँ है third में?
No, it says no 5 members, 2 contacts.
अभी तो इसमें हम ही 3 है मैम असीम you and me are 3
Oh,
उसके अलावा 2 ही बच्चे हैं
acha. So it doesn't have more people? Divyanshu has not responded. This is on silent, I hope.
yes ma'am, you're beautiful
Yeah.
नहीं Hi guys. Are we good? I hope I've given enough time to all the groups. One of the groups wanted a little more time. So we're good to start.
I did notice the chat. Soumya. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So
Kalyan.
you can share your final files here. Asim, would you be able to share, or students, if you can share?
I hope you guys have had some real fun doing this.
They
But
can
we are
share
very
in the
eager to
same WhatsApp group.
we're very eager to see what you've done, and let's see.
Asim, were you saying something?
They can share it on the same WhatsApp group and then
Right. So which group would like to come forward and you can share it? Let us know. I'm sure we'll figure out which is the prompt that you're working on.
Soumya, can you put this link of the file on the chat box here? Can you just post it on the chat here? I'll just access it from here. Are you able to? Okay, one second. And Shreya, would you want to say?
Yeah, let's call each team and then tell them one by one to do it because all of them cannot access it at the same time.
I think, ma'am, there are only 2 teams that are active.
Okay, so let's start seeing it. I hope the other ones will just try to finish and show it. I guess there are only 3 teams. It can't be more than 3 teams, no?
हाँ मैम तो अभी 2 ही है active.
All right, Soumya, Ridyanshi, and Anushka. Right. Oh, I'm just wondering, that's not what we were looking at. Okay.
हाँ मैम 15 colors.
No, I know.
I
I
they're not
wanted
in
it.
order. They're not
No, I didn't want strips like this. I thought we would, we would sort of mingle it up so that we see it as an ocean rather than saying this is Soumya's ocean, Ridyanshi's ocean. And because we are not wanting to test you individually. We want to see how do you people work as a group and mix up these colors in your palette. Where do you want to put those bright colors as part of your representation? Do you think that's possible?
Like the point is that you have the gradients, flow in a very smooth way.
So I says, right, the colors are fine.
Okay, they are individual sets, so. So you guys can manage this because they're all individual blocks. So if you can work on this
Even if they just touch each 3 of them, we can see it as a whole palette. We want to see it as a whole piece of work. Okay, guys? We are not judging individual people. So can you do that? Right. Okay, kind of like this. Yes, it looks good. Yes, it gives an impression of ocean. And it would be nice to see some bright, more neonish color. It looks nice.
So see, many of the colors are repeating also because if you would have put it next to each other to check, then probably you would have seen the similarity or the differences. I know you guys were trying to put the hex codes together, but you will have to be very careful with visually also how those colors are being given together. Even these ones, very simple.
All right. So, to give a kind of a feedback, you guys have done the job. It's just that maybe the layout, what we were looking at, was slightly different. Let's look at the others because then our time is also off. Good, your ocean looks pretty good. Let's look at the next slide. Jaisalmer, okay, I think the desert of Jaisalmer seems to be pretty good too. As kind of an exercise, if you can club it together, it will be nice.
Is the other group's work also ready? Can we see the other group's work also?
एक बार तीनों का देख लेते हैं.
नहीं,
Let's
कोई
just
वाला
quickly
वापस?
go three. Yeah, let's finish the three and then.
मतलब वही वाली फाइल में हम दोबारा-
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. I didn't see the second one maybe. What is it?
Rainforest.
Rainforest. I think rainforest would be a lot more than this. You know, rainforest is really green. I would have liked to see a lot more green. And browns, not so much brown, very few browns. I think your ocean is done very well.
Yeah.
And Jaisalmer is the next one I would say has been done well. Rainforest, you could have worked upon a little bit more. But I do think the bright, little bit of bright red and purplish and all that is pretty good.
Okay, a lot of paint tones also being used because of the mud, sand.
Yeah. You know, the lush greens of rainforest is
That's
very,
the-
very so prominent. You will have to get that in. Okay? Okay, let's look at the other students, the other groups. But good effort. So
Good effort.
I can see you guys are playing with colors. Now this is the real play. Okay. So is that just one group?
Yes.
The others haven't sent in yet?
Can we, Shreya, would you be able to share your group's work here? It's okay, whatever you finish.
Whatever you
share
may
it.
have finished, yeah.
Shreya, you here?
Right. So, you know, corals are never neon. Corals are soft, pleasant
Pastel.
colors. Yeah, so you may have to think of that. Neon could represent perhaps the plastic in the ocean. I think so. Or some fishes. Yeah, lots of fishes are colored very, very bright, you know. All right. So, is there anybody ready to? Because now we are almost at the end of the session. And today is really the last session of the pre-credit sessions as earlier announced. And the next time that you see will be on 23rd. We really want to see you with your parents. And let me tell you, the seniors are looking forward to meeting you guys. I'm sure you too want to meet them. And there are lots of events planned for you, lots of mingling sessions planned for you. And I'm really keen to see you guys face to face. Many of you I've already met, many of you are yet to come in. So, is there anybody wanting to show? Can I share the Greece mood board, or would you like to? Yeah, quickly then.
We have a meeting.
Oh, we have a meeting, no? It's already on the.
Yes.
She's already on the. Okay, I'm sorry, Ridyanshi, if you'd like to.
Once you're here, we'll do.
Yeah, we will. Once you're here, we can give you the feedback. Once you are here, all right. So I'll see your mood board later, Ridyanshi. And Soumya, what was